now, the most reasonable talk show host from Sop Choppy to the Redneck Riviera, here is Bob Kerrigan.
Well, good evening and welcome to Within Reason. We're back. Again, gone last week, but back down. We'll be here for several weeks in a row. And we'll be gone the week of February the 16th because Bill and I are going to be in trouble. So tell me some more about the stimulus package.
Okay.
So who's going to get stimulated here?
Well, and a lot of it isn't stimulative. A lot of it is just an old grab bag of ideas that have been around for a while and have just been too wacky to pass. You know, just handing out money for all kinds of things. Now, some of it doesn't sound bad, but it's funding for basic research and special ed programs. Well, that may or may not be.
It'll create a few jobs. It'll create a few jobs, but
so here you have these programs without any debate. We're just going to throw them into the stimulus package because everybody's got all their stuff in the stimulus package. You know, we're going to redo public. I mean, some of these things are just going to be the biggest giveaways. Well, let's just give a whole bunch of money to colleges. For rebuilding colleges. You think we're going to get some climbing walls and Muslim holding gyms and, you know, we're going to get a lot of wacky stuff out of this. It has nothing to do with stimulus. It's just all the programs they wanted. They just went in and grabbed up all the money and passed it out in all directions.
I would say this, that if you haven't gotten your stimulus check and you're not on the list to get lots and lots of money, you are the only one. Because everybody else is going to get some. Bill, tell us who they are.
Yeah, well, there is, once you get past the condoms, I don't see a lot of things on here that are completely outrageous. I remember talking on TV, Hillary Clinton earmarked $1 million for a Woodstock museum. Now, if you're not old like we are, Woodstock was this thing back in the 70s where a whole lot of people got stoned and rolled around in the mud, and she wanted to use our taxpayer money to celebrate that. I mean,
that was a big thing for she and Bill.
The earmarks.
Boy, you're cruel. I'm telling you, that meant a lot to their family. Because Bill did it, but he didn't inhale. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's right.
You know, he hardly ever did that. But go ahead.
Yeah. And so the real source of these zingers, you know, where you think, my God, we're using government money for a boll weevil museum? We you know, government money to, you know, just nonsense. These things don't sound like that, but what do they have to do with stimulus?
Oh, that's it. That's the point. What are they going to stimulate? I mean, how's it going to filter down? That's the Republican beef, right? I mean, of course, you know, they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth because they could hardly wait to give away billions that didn't do anything but fatten up the banks. But other than that, what do you got?
Well, all right, $10 billion for science facilities, research, and instrumentation. Well, this kind of stuff takes a long time to deliver.
If that's basic science, all
that's not stimulative.
Those are grants.
Just like early education.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know what I like? The Democrats are great about this. They call them investments. This is an investment in whatever, in windmills. No, an investment is something that's going to give you money back. This is a giveaway. How about this?
Boy, you people are so narrow. You're so narrow in the way you look at our concepts like that. I mean, you know, have a broader view about it. An investment means that you're putting money into something, but what you're going to get back isn't necessarily money. It's enrichment. It's an improvement for society. It's being nicer to one another. That's the things you get out of it. That's the Democrats. Yeah. That's the way we look at things, okay?
And the people who support the Democrats can pick up a little cash along the way, and everybody's happy.
There's some cash there.
Okay.
We got to have
$6 billion to weatherize modest income homes. How about Katrina level fraud going on as a result of that? Huh?
What is it? Modest level homes?
Modest income homes.
Modest
income.
Your
place on the bayou, you're out.
But listen, how can you have a modest income relate to a house? Because you could be like in a $500,000 house and make $100 a week. I mean, you know, if you're retired, you got some.
What the standard
but your house is paid for.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. I mean, what if you have a little modest home, but you've got $8 billion in the bank?
Yeah, exactly.
You say, where's my government handout? My house doesn't cost very much.
Or vice versa.
There are simple things you can do. All right, let's agree we're going to stimulate the economy. The economy's in rough shape. We're going to stimulate the economy.
That was what we were supposed to be doing.
Here's some simple programs with an immediate impact. Temporary cut in the payroll tax, big aids to states, expanded unemployment insurance, and food stamps. Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
Not all this other stuff. Not all this global warming nonsense.
I mean, that's good.
And those are good things. Okay. I have this image of train loads of cash and the Democrats up there with big shovels just shoveling it out in all directions.
Well, now wait. On the train loads of cash, you know that Bush sent $9 billion shrink-wrapped to Iraq on pallets and passed it out to contractors. The largest single withdrawal ever in the history of the Federal Reserve went on a C-130 to Iraq, or two C-130s to Iraq. It was a plane load of cash. We, in our system with the Democrats, are a little bit more sophisticated. We're going to write checks. We're going to write checks.
$9 billion.
Well, $9 billion. I'm just saying that was a lot of cash.
That's not much, though.
That was a lot of cash.
Okay, so Bush did something stupid, so we can't talk about the stupid things the Democrats are doing. Is that kind of where you are?
Let's give me some more examples.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to modernize federal and other public infrastructure with investments that lead to long-term energy cost savings. Something that's that unspecific is really going to give you...
That even sounds stupid to me. Because what we need to do is have fewer federal facilities, not more. Okay, and we don't want to make federal facilities really efficient.
No,
we
what we want to do is make
down.
them go away. All right.
I agree.
$6 billion for higher education modernization. This is where you're going to get your climbing walls in public colleges. I'm sure.
Modern education. What is it?
You know what's wrong? You know what's wrong?
Education modernization.
Yeah.
Right.
What's wrong with modern education is this. I think the government supports it. And to make it affordable for low-income people and ordinary people. So the colleges just raise their tuition.
Oh, yeah.
And what have we accomplished? So we've got tenured professors making all kinds of money for teaching one class a month, and the taxpayers are paying for it. We're going to invest in health information technology. What does that have to do with stimulating anything? Over the course of many years, all the doctors, all the medical records are going to be computerized. This is one of Obama's pet things. You know? Now, how is that stimulating anything? Or is it just that anything you give money to is a good idea now?
I think that might be it.
All right, here's the problem. All right, I have not been able to come up with any zingers. I concede that before Mr. Kerrigan points it out to you. But here's the problem, okay? Right now, the federal government can borrow money cheaply because there's this flight to quality, and nobody wants to invest in anything, so they're going to park their money in government instruments. And because everybody wants to give their money to the government doesn't have to pay any interest. When this thing, when the business cycle cycles back around and everything has changed and prime goes back up to 8, which it was a little over 2 years ago, and the government has to pay a lot of money on all this debt, and just servicing the national debt is going to cost $700 billion a year, we're going to be screwed.
Yeah.
We're just going to be screwed. Who's paying attention to this right now?
Well, it's all in the short run because there's no money going out, right, on interest.
Fortune.
Are we, based on what you're saying, we are at a crisis if these interest rates go up. We're at a crisis if foreign governments say, we don't want any more of this.
Because then the interest rates will go up. Because somebody will buy our paper.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we're not buying all of this crap from China, China's going to say, hey, part of our deal and fixing petroleum with the U.S. dollar and other things is all a function of buying from us, on credit, and now you're not going to do it. So you're not buying from us, we're not buying your paper. Where's it going to go, do you think?
That's a problem. I don't know.
Where's it going to go?
I wish I knew how it went. Kevin Phillips wrote these books about economic cycles, and I forget the name of the book, but he compared us to the Dutch and the British when they had big empires, and this is kind of the last blaze, you know, the end of it. And during those times, a lot of people do very, very well.
Until it ends.
Until it ends. Yeah.
You've been listening to Within Reason. We got a minute or two, or are we about to wrap up? I guess we're wrapping up. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. This program is rebroadcast Friday at 10 and Monday at 10. So we'll see you next week, and thanks very much for joining us.